What's going on, guys? It is Friday and football is finally back after a shit international break. It's it's Premier League predictions. It's game week 8. But before we get into the predictions, lads, we are going to do, and again, I know this can take probably 40 minutes to actually go through. You can probably do it as a full show. But I want to kick it off with the Mount Rushmore of the Premier League. So, Alex, if you can, 4 names on that Mount Rushmore. Try not to develop into like the career and all that kind of stuff, but just give me a brief synopsis of why you chose each player.
Right. First and foremost, I'll go Thierry Henry.
Correct.
Yeah, I think he's the best. That's all I'll say for that.
Yeah, I agree.
You'd have to have Alex Ferguson, wouldn't you? You couldn't not.
Just players we're talking.
Oh, just players.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have specified that.
Okay, sorry. Right. I'll put Rooney in, I think.
He's not said a name yet, and I'm going to be interested if he says his name or not.
So Rooney, Henry, first 2 entries.
Rooney, Henry. I'm struggling. I am struggling because what is it? What we're saying? The best 4 players, or sort of the best 4 players.
Yeah.
Not like who represent the Premier League or whatever, anything like that.
I should have saved this for a show, shouldn't
Yeah.
I? Yeah. Just go with players, pure players who you love watching play. You know, sometimes it's subjective in it. Like, I think there are concrete answers in there. I think Henry and Rooney, for me at least.
Yeah.
And then the rest is pretty debatable, isn't it? But you can have a couple of different positions in there if it makes your life easier.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll throw in De Bruyne. I'll throw in De Bruyne.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then, shit.
We've got this far. You've got through 3.
I know. I'm so sorry. This is
Put a
hard.
defender in there, I'd say. Put a defender, because you've got midfielder, you've got 2 attackers.
Defender.
I know what defender you're going to say.
It's between like Rio, Terry. I suppose Vidic would be, but I'm not.
Suppose?
No, I'm not a massive fan.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I will die on that hill. I'm not a Vida guy.
Again, we'll save that for a separate fucking podcast.
Yeah. Bloody fucking hell. Right, I'll go Rio. I will go Rio. I do think he's probably the best Premier League defender. Centre back. I do believe that.
Okay.
Right, that was hard. I'm sorry, but
I would question you on that, but I don't want to, because I feel like we could be here for days.
We'll be here all night,
and offer alternatives and all that kind of stuff. Sam, do you have one embedded in your head, or?
Ryan Giggs has to be on there, doesn't he?
Okay.
All-time Premier League appearance record, won the thing to win. Like, I don't understand how he's not on the list. He's not on there like he should be.
Is he the greatest player, though, when you compare ability?
Yeah. He is, because longevity, trophies won, one club man, like, that stands out. I don't think there's anybody who beats him. Like, you could say there's better players who have better ability who came to the Premier League, but they didn't stay long. Didn't do the longevity he did and stay consistent at the top that he did.
Like a Hazard, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Or Cristiano Ronaldo, for example. Like, very fantastic players, but didn't stay that long. So I don't think you can include them in the conversation.
So Ryan Giggs is number 1.
Paul Scholes is number 2.
It's just going to be all United players. You can't
Has to be.
Try not to have a bias.
No, but the greatest midfielder in the history of midfielders, like Zinedine Zidane, Iniesta, all called him the greatest midfielder they've ever played against. These are the 2 of the greatest midfielders. I hold Zinedine Zidane above everybody in midfielders.
Yeah, me too.
And he says Paul Scholes is one of the best. Yeah. Iniesta, who's widely regarded as one of the best midfielders to ever play the game, has said Paul Scholes is one of the best players in the world. Like, again, played one club, multiple Premier League titles, came out of retirement and still looked fucking phenomenal. Like, there isn't a better midfielder like than Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes is the best midfielder.
Okay, that's 2.
I honestly would pick all United players, but
no, I don't think you would though. I think you would because you're a United fan. No, You wouldn't.
I would.
To not have Thierry Henry in a Premier League Mount Rushmore is almost a criminal offence, to be honest.
Because I'd agree with Alex, because Rio goes in there, because I think he's one of the best centre backs to ever play in the Premier League. I think you could put John Terry in there, maybe, as well. John Terry's close. I think Carvalho comes very, very close as well. I think Carvalho was underrated.
Longevity-wise as well, we're talking
longevity.
about,
Longevity, you probably, yeah, I'd put Rio in there. I agree with Alex with Rio. And then I don't know. I really don't know, because beyond that, Thierry Henry is the only name that comes to mind that has that sort of level of ability. Maybe you could put Aguero for what he did and what he came to do at City. Won their first title, was one of their biggest goal scorers on the planet at the time, up until the cyborg came. I'll go with Aguero.
Aguero. Okay.
Yeah.
So Aguero, Giggs, Rio, Scholes.
Yeah.
Okay, so no Rooney, no Henry. No?
Rooney should be in there, but Alex already spoke about him, and then you made me pick a non-United player, so I would have put Rooney in there.
I didn't make you do anything.
All right, but Rooney instead of Aguero, then there you go.
Okay, so Rooney, Rio, Scholes, and Giggs on your Mount Rushmore.
If you
what a surprise!
If you start getting into 10 people and think, I'll start putting other players in there. But if you want to give me 4, that's what I'm going with.
Anyone who's watching currently right now, get your Mount Rushmore, the Premier League, if you're watching this live or if you're watching this later on. Mine will be, I don't think United fans are going to like mine necessarily, but I think Henry, Rooney, Terry, De Bruyne, I think.
I don't have. I wouldn't shout you down and say any of those picks are stupid or wrong.
No.
I wouldn't shout you down. They're all solid picks.
Yeah, it's impossible to fucking argue, to be honest, isn't it? Anyway, but that leads us perfectly into the Premier League, which is back this weekend, lads. I'm going to kick it off with the 12:30 kickoff, Spurs versus West Ham. Both teams, I would say, could do the result. You had Spurs collapsing against Brighton. West Ham, I know they beat Ipswich, but they're mid-table after a bit of a sticky start. So, any banana skins in this one, Alex?
I've gone for a 1-1 draw. Just I think pretty much like you said there, sort of they're both looking for a result. So I think they both get a draw.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Cancel each other out effectively.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that one. Sam, are you going for a draw or are you going with something different?
Draw is probably the safe bet, isn't it? Because West Ham have looked shocking up until just before the international break, where they battered. Who did it batter? Was it Ipswich?
Yeah,
Ipswich.
Yeah. And then Tottenham have been up and down. They absolutely handed an arse whipping to us, and then they just absolutely collapsed against Brighton. So you're just I don't know what Spurs you're gonna get really. So draw could be a fair result. I'll put my neck on the line. I'll say Spurs beat West Ham 2-1.
Yeah, I think I'll go with that. Spurs at home. I think they should just edge that, to be honest. But I think it'll be a pretty competitive game. And you got the whole early kickoff and all that kind of jazz. So just edging it Spurs, I'll go with 2-1. Into the 3 o'clock kickoffs, another really, really good game. Fulham versus Villa. Fulham, surprisingly, done really, really well. I don't know if you guys watched the game against City, but fuck me. They played well. Really, really well. Both in good form. Villa, I don't know if Villa have lost yet. Arsenal, innit? I think that's it. The only thing they've lost to. But apart from that, they've been pretty smooth sailing. So, Sam, you kick us off with this one. Fulham Villa.
I like Fulham. I think Marco Silva's not got his flowers. I think he deserves a lot more respect than he gets, because I think he's done exceptionally well when he's come to the Premier League. He's lost some key players as well. He's lost a lot of sort of first team players. Paulinho went to Bayern. Who was the other guy they lost as well?
Yeah, they lost some experience in the back line as well, I think.
Willian's gone as well, hasn't he? Mitrovic has gone, but then they've replaced really well. They brought in some good players Gibbs White. He's not Gibbs White. What the fuck's he called?
Smith Rowe.
Smith Rowe. Double barrel. I knew it was a double barrel. Arsenal related name. Smith Rowe has been really, really good for them. preseason Pirlo, Andreas Pereira, continues to sort of shine, doesn't he? Even though he
Really
never did for us. Never did for us, but at Fulham, absolutely like loving it. Didn't he sign Anderson as well from Palace?
Yeah, Joaquim
Yeah,
Anderson.
Defender. He's a good
yeah.
player. I like him a lot. But yeah, I think they could do something here. I definitely think there might be some they could put something to Villa. I don't again. I hate going with draws, but to me, this might have a draw written all over it. I'd say 1-1.
1-1. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm on a similar kind of vein. Oh, for fuck's sake. Are you telling me my fucking camera's died?
Uh,
Right, 1 second. Alex, talk me through your predictions for that game, mate. Just want to sort this shit out.
well, this is my what I would say is a potential banana skin. I
Ooh.
basically agree with a lot of what Sam said there. Is that I think Fulham are looking pretty good, and Marco Silva's doing a good job. And I do think, as much as Villa, like obviously they've had that amazing result against Bayern, and they've been picking up results and they're playing well. I just think this has just got such potential for like 1-0 Fulham. Like
Really?
they're just great. Yeah, I really do. I
Villa
don't
have
know
been
why.
flying
It's
at the
just
minute as well, aren't they? Like, I know the United result was a bit underwhelming, but yeah. But Fulham are at home as well, I suppose. It's another thing
they're
to
at
consider.
home, and I think they're just looking pretty good. And I think some like Villa because they're looking so good, and obviously last season they got fourth, which is amazing, and first time they've done it in, got to Europe in 40 odd years or whatever, or Champions League at least. And now it's about can they do it again? And obviously they've started really well, and everyone's seeing like it's like wow, they mean business. But I feel like in these kind of sort of seasons for these type of clubs who like are sort of overachieving kind of thing, there's always a result. I think, especially an away result where
Yeah.
they slip up, where it's like you should win. Maybe that comes later in the season, when the pressure's on a bit. But I don't know. I just think this has got such potential for a Fulham upset me.
Alex, what went wrong with Marco Silva at Everton? Like, why didn't it work?
Ugh.
Because he's good manager. He's clearly a good manager, but
Yeah, I think too much sort of went into the like pursuing him, like because I don't know if you remember, but like it was sort of like 6 months before or possibly the year before where we made this big approach for him, and
yeah.
it was all we turned his head and all this, but then he ended up staying at Watford.
Yeah,
But then a few months down the line, I think he then got sacked off Watford, and then we brought him in, so we'd finally got him, and then he just I don't know because you can't. There was some games where you were like you can see there's something good here, like there's something to be a bit positive about, but there was just too many like spankings, to be honest, like big losses and in big games, like and his last game, I think it was at Anfield, and I'm pretty sure it
4-0.
was. Yeah, I feel like it was. I was going to say like bloody
More.
6-2 or something like that,
Yeah.
6-3. It was something crazy. I can't even remember, but that sums up his time. Basically, was that there was a lot of sort of nice football and potential for it to be good, but we just I don't know, we weren't defensively solid, and we just threw games away, and we got battered quite a lot. I remember. So
Okay.
yeah.
Right, let's not go down the Marco Silva
I was just
monologue. No, I'm joking. But what are we going with score predictions wise? What have you both said? Go for it.
I've gone
I,
1-0.
1-0.
I think I said 1-1, didn't
1-1. I'll go 2-2. 2 apiece because I think there'll be goals in this game. You
Yeah.
mentioned Marco Silva managing your team, Alex, and they're up next. Ipswich versus Everton.
Yeah.
Ipswich, a team with 4 draws, yet to win in the league. Everton picked up their first over Palace a couple of weeks ago. Feels like months ago now. The floor's yours, mate.
Ipswich haven't won in the Premier League, so there's a meme in like on Everton Twitter and stuff, and it's a man coming like into the shot like this, and it's the Everton badge, and it just goes, "Here comes Everton." So it's just that is what Ipswich are getting. I really think this is where they get their first win.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm wrong. I maybe a 1-1 draw. I think we'd do well to get away with a draw, to be honest. But I think they beat us. I think Liam Delap's in good form, innit?
In my fantasy team now as well. So
Is it nice? Yeah. So yeah, I am a bit worried because it's just typical Everton. This is what Everton do. Whenever there's a sort of record to be broken, or say if someone's gone like on a 50 game like goal drought, you know they're getting the first goal against Everton, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we're gonna lose 1-0.
Gonna lose. Oh wow, that surprised me.
Yeah,
You're full of beans in the last fucking preview.
I know, but I can't. You just can't get past this typical Everton. Honestly,
can't trust them. Like we can't trust United. But they're up next. Sam, Everton, Ipswich versus Everton. Should I say?
Are Everton willing to sort of chuck up a 2-0 lead and throw it away again? Can we have facts? It's always entertaining. Every time I'm watching Everton game, right, this is going to be fun to watch. Because
listen, so have United. United been entertaining.
I don't want to watch United, like, because it's my team. Like, I'm not interested in that. So, but yeah, Everton, I really don't know, because sometimes I watch, like, when they go 2-0, I'm like, they look great.
Yeah.
And it just for some reason they go, we're bored. Fuck it. Let's give him a goal or something. Let him back into the game. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Again, it stinks a draw to me. Stinks of a draw.
There's so many draws this weekend. Potential draws.
I'll say 2-2 because I think that's the way it's going to go. And I think again, Ipswich play lovely football, but there seems to be no end product at the minute, which is worrying, and it might cost them.
Well, Alex mentioned Liam Delap has just started coming into form now. I think he's going to bag one, but I think Everton are at least enough to get a point out of it. So I'm going to draw as well. Agreed on quite a few here. United versus Brentford. We spoke about this extensively, Sam. So usually I would go to you on this one, but we have spoken about it quite a lot.
I'll just say it one sentence. We are shit, and we're gonna get slapped 3-1.
Okay. So there's Sam's prediction for United versus Brentford. Alex?
Well, I'm here to bring a bit of like levity, a bit of positivity, I think, to this United fan channel as the neutral. Well, I've gone for 1-0 United because I just think something has got to bloody give.
I've been saying that for weeks. Alex, we say it every week. Every week we say this.
I know. But I don't know what it is. I don't know. But to be fair, I think this is how it's going to go, where he's going to cling on to his job consistently, I think, over the next like fair few months, where you're going to just pick up these morale boosting wins sort of thing, and then you'll probably lose the next game. But yeah, I do. I just think this has got 1-0 United written all over it, which probably makes no
score. Which means they'll break the record of scoring in the first.
Yeah. No, I know. I just think I don't think I've got it in you to concede and win. So that's why I've gone for 1-0.
Exactly. Okay. As soon as we concede, heads just go roll, and we just go, we can't be asked anymore.
I like to call them bogey Brentford because we always struggle against them.
We do, yeah.
Set pieces, organised.
Our record on paper is really good against them because I think we've only lost once to them. But every time we play them, like you said, we look like shit. But we somehow managed to pull a result out of it. It's weird.
Yeah. And usually it's away from home when we lose as well. So I don't know, maybe there is something in that, but I don't know. I think they're going to be really organised and difficult to beat, and I can see the goal as well. So, I can't remember what I said in the. Can you remember what I said in the preview, Sam?
Did you say 2-2?
I feel like I said 2-2. Another draw, really.
Because me and Shreya said loss, didn't we?
Yeah,
Shreya said 2-1,
and I saved it
3-1.
a little bit by a draw. I'll go with a draw again. Jesus. Newcastle versus Brighton. Obviously, Newcastle typically very good at St James's Park, but I think the league position slightly flatters them if you have watched Newcastle closely. And Brighton very good as well. I've been impressed with him since they brought in what's his name, Sam? Ziegler.
Fabian Hertzler.
Hurtsler. That's the one.
Do you know what? Do you want to guess what his job? He's 31, so he's younger than me, which is really irritating. He's a Premier League manager. But do you know what his job was before he was a Premier League manager? You'll never guess what it was.
Can you give us a clue?
Think museums.
Well, it's like a bloody tour guide or something.
No, he was an art dealer. That was his job before he became a Premier League manager.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's an artist on the
Insane,
pitch
isn't
as
it?
well, isn't it? To be fair.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane that. He got sacked he was an art dealer, he got sacked, and then he started doing his coaching badges and decided he wanted to become a coach.
No way.
You know what? You look at him, you think, yeah, I can see that. I can, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, Newcastle versus Brighton. Who wants to kick us off with that?
I'm going for goals. I'm going for a 2-2 draw. Me, I think.
Not for draw.
How many draws this week?
I know. Well, that's. I mean, technically my third if we're counting, because it probably will be a draw, Ipswich Everton. I do think that, but yeah, I don't know. I think these goals in it. I think like looking at the last few games, especially Brighton, there's been a lot of goals in their games recently. 3-2s, and I think there was it 4-2 as well.
Yeah.
Again, yeah. So yeah, and I just think Newcastle at home, they tend to sort of turn up a bit, don't they, at home? Yeah. So I've gone for a 2-2, me.
Yeah. Why, aye, man. St. James's Park when we absolutely blowing the doors off, mate. Sam, are you going with a draw as well?
No, I think you're right. There is going to be goals in it. But I think Brighton just seems to have a knack of getting things over the line. Like we saw against Spurs, it was first half, you were like, oh, they're done. And then absolute renaissance. Speaking of art dealers, if you like that joke.
Nice.
I think they can score goals. They've got some really good players. The player that Chivy likes me and you to say, Nick, Minty. Fucking mank as fuck. And then Danny Welbs. Rolling back the years. Looking absolutely phenomenal. Matoma looks back in form. You got Enciso back. What's the other guy? The South American kid that they've bought as well.
Oh,
I can't remember his name.
No, Balibo is doing really well as well. The reason why I remember the name is because I think of the Shreks. I'm a believer if I try.
There's another one though. There's another kid as well. Like they've got fucking stacked.
Now I'm a believer. Trace.
But yeah, I think I'll go 3-2 to Brighton. I think they'll get the job done.
3-2.
Yeah.
I nearly went for 3-2 Brighton, to be fair. I did. But
I like Brighton.
Yeah.
I can't see Newcastle losing at home to Brighton. I can't see it. So
yet
again, I'm going to have to go with a 2-2 draw. And both of them in identical form, by the way. Both got 3 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss on 12 points. So Brighton are 6th, Newcastle are 7th in the league, only by goal difference. Southampton versus Leicester. Southampton always lose. Sneeze Cooper with a dub. Are we having that?
Yeah.
Shit, aren't they? They're just shit. They just always lose. So.
They're not shit. They're not shit. Like they play really nice football, but
they do.
But they can't win. They can't win.
Though, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think this might be where Russell Martin gets in a bit.
You're gone.
Yeah, I think so. I think this might be it. Leicester had them on toast, but like in both games last season, they both obviously got promoted, but Leicester beat them 5-0 towards the end of the season, and I think they beat them 4-1 earlier in the season. So
there we go.
Yeah. And Southampton are at home, but I reckon 3-1 Leicester me, and then Martin gets sacked.
I swear that St Mary's crowd's just a bunch of old biddies in a corner because it always sounds dead. The only time they get up and there's a bit of ambience is when it's like, when the Saints go marching in. Yeah. And then they have the cuppa and then you don't aim for the rest of the game. So.
Do you remember that like small period where they were just producing talent upon talent, like really good players, like, and they would like a talent factory. Lallana, Van Dijk was there as well. Like there was bunch, and you were like, they could do something if they just kept a couple of those players.
Yeah.
They might have been.
It's always the case, though, isn't it? With those kind of clubs, it's like.
But I'll go. I think 1-0 Leicester. I think it's going to be a really shit game. a really
Okay.
boring game.
Yeah, no one's watching that on the weekend apart from literally Leicester fans, Southampton fans. That's it. Moving on to half 5, Bournemouth versus Arsenal. Arsenal travel down to Butlins. I think Arsenal got. Well,
Nick, explain why Bournemouth are your favourite team.
because they remind me of like an all-exclusive kids party, like a Butlins kind of vibe when you go there. Because again, there's another one. You think Southampton atmosphere is bad? The Vitality Stadium, oh my god, fucking awful. It's on the south coast near a beach. You've got your sand buckets. It's just.
To be fair, Nick, there's only about 400 people in the stadium, so it's a bit hard to get the noise.
Yeah, it's like 12,000 or something. It's like the smallest ever.
It's just they don't fill me with any like pride with football. I'm sorry, Bournemouth fans, but they just don't. I hear the team Bournemouth, and I'm like, at least with Southampton, like even the players, they've had their period where they're like, okay, Bournemouth are just no. That's the last team I would support in the Prem. If I had to pick, they'd be the last team. Yeah. Anyway, Bournemouth versus Arsenal. I don't know. I was listening to Arteta before. He was a bit like in between on injuries. I don't know who's going to be fit and available. But I think Arsenal are that good defensively, Alex, that I just see him going there and getting the job done 2-0.
Yeah, I've literally gone 2-0 as well. Just getting the job done. I think clean sheet. I don't think they spank him 3 or 4-0. I just think they get the job done 2-0. Simple, no frills, just bish bash bosh.
Bish bash bosh. Sam, are they bish bash boshing at Bournemouth?
I hope not. That's not going to be allowed to be broadcast, is it? If they're doing that. I like Areola. I think he's good. I think he's a really good manager.
You got a bish bash boshing. I like Areola. It sounds like you said a nipple.
Areola. Aye. Areola. Not
he's
Areola.
now known as Areola. That's what he's now known as.
No, because we've got the West Ham goalkeeper is Areola, isn't he? Old Nipple. He's
nipple.
I like him though. I think he's a good manager. Like I think he's got some really interesting tactics and stuff like that. And I think again another team that plays really, really attractive football. But he seems to be getting results. People were a bit weird about him because they were like, "Why have you sacked Gary O'Neill? He's done a really good job. Deserves to keep it." By people, and they hired this guy, and I think he's done well. I think this is the banana skin for Arsenal. I think Bournemouth beat him.
Wow.
I'm going to say 2-1. I think Arsenal go early, score, and you think, here we go, like you said, you guys.
And the crowd gets behind Bournemouth.
Yeah, all 400 people in that north stand, they're going to get up for it. And then, I think they do. I think 2-1. I think they'll win 2-1. I think it'll be a penalty for Bournemouth, I think, as well.
Wow. Okay, going bold there. Right,
just because I want to predict Arsenal's downfall because I fucking hate Arsenal fans. I really, really hate. I just want to just take the fucking glory and stuff away from them because I fucking love it when they have a meltdown.
Well, they've not got any glory yet, have they? But they might have this season.
That's what I'm saying. But every season they think this is going to be the year, this is going to be the year, and then they fucking collapse and have a go at everybody else. So yeah, continue, please.
So there's the banana skin for Sam. I don't think I've done a banana skin yet, have I? To be fair, or a barn burner. So anyway, Wolves versus Man City. This is, I don't know if you can class it as a barn. No, barn burners both ways in it. I think Wolves are going to get absolutely dicked in this. Honestly, I think 5-0. Total prodding. I think. Sam, kick us off with that as well.
Yeah, this is going to be Pep Guardiola. Football at its finest. They're going to have 90% possession. It's going to be horseshoed around that fucking defensive line. And the fucking cyborg is going to get a couple. And that'll be the end of the day. And Wolves won't get anywhere near their goal. Won't cause any issues.
Captain Haaland in this one.
Yeah, so it's going to be 2-0. Nice, easy done. They won't even take the foot. They won't take the foot off the pedal too much. But it'll just be enough. So yeah, I just think I don't see beyond that. Again, like Gary O'Neill, they've got some good players, but they just seem a bit weak this season, don't they? They don't seem like killing any games off this season.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say, right? Because you sparked memory, I went to go say it before. Sorry, Alex. I know you're going to give your thing. The Bournemouth manager has. Do you know his lookalike? So Sam, you'll get this reference. Alex, have you watched The Dark Knight?
Yeah.
Do you know the schizophrenic in it who Harvey Dent interrogates?
Oh, yeah. Thomas something. What's he called?
I'll send it you now, Alex, right? I'm telling you now, it's a fucking spit. So whilst you give me your take on this on the Wolves game, in City, I will show you this. So go for it.
Okay. To be fair, I didn't really have much else to add. I just pretty much agreed with literally everything Sam just said. Like, I just think probably 3-0, 3-0 City. Like, Wolves are just, like I said, I like Gary O'Neill, and you thought that Wolves might, I don't know, not necessarily do much out there, but you wouldn't have expected them to have started so poorly, I don't think. So it's come as a bit of a shock, and yeah, it's just they just, I don't know, like you said, Sam, they just seem like there's just no fighting in. There's no like get
Do
up
you
and
think they've
go
been
to
unlucky
try.
though, or do you think they've actually been poor,
Uh,
or not
I
watched them
mean,
that
yeah,
close?
well, no, I mean, I've seen bits here and there, whatever, match of the day and stuff, but it seems, obviously there's a lot of good and bad luck with every team, really. I don't, that's how
Let us
I put
know.
it.
Let us know when the good luck starts for us, then, Alex. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I'd love to
Yeah.
know that. Yeah. So yeah, Wolves versus, I think the majority of us are going with the dub with that. We've got Steph in the chat, Lumen, Simon Davis, Richard Hawkins. How are we all doing? Get your predictions in. Quite a Friday tonight, which is surprising, but hey ho, we move forward. Liverpool versus Chelsea, I think, is the game of the weekend.
Yeah.
Super Sunday, 4:30. Chelsea yet to play a team, I don't think, in like the top kind of 8. And Anfield could be a difficult place for any teams that are, travelling there. Alex?
Yeah, this is my barn burner. I've gone 3-2 Liverpool, mate.
3-2, did you
Because
say?
I've gone 3-2, yeah, to
Yeah.
Liverpool. I think, like you say, Chelsea haven't really played anyone.
neither have
Really.
Liverpool, to be fair, have they? Except us, but we're shit. So
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, other than obviously the Forest result, which was a mad one, like they lost 1-0 at home, but they've won, I think, literally every other game. I think, like in all comps, pretty sure they've won every single game. So yeah, they're looking like sort of a well-oiled machine at the minute, aren't they, Liverpool?
Yeah.
It's not
Unfortunately.
great. It's not. Yeah.
No, for either of us, one being an Everton fan and us being a United
Exactly.
fan, it's
Exactly.
yeah, not great at all. So 3-2, Alex has gone with Sam.
again, you probably know where I'm going with this, but I'm going with the upset. I think Chelsea beat them. I like what Chelsea are doing at the minute. They're starting to find the rhythm. They're starting to get going. Apparently everybody's now fit. Like even Reece James, whose legs are made of matchsticks, is fit. Like so.
What a miracle.
Maybe he comes on and he breaks the other one, and then that's it. End of the thing.
Probably.
So, but Cole Palmer, man, is just a special player. Like that kid has got like fire and lightning in his boots. Like he's just unbelievable. So I think he could well be the difference here. I think he might get a couple of goals. So I'm gonna steal Alex's score, but I'm gonna go the other way. I think 3-2 Chelsea. Again, I just want to stir the pot because I fucking hate Liverpool. So I want to upset him. So
I could definitely see it though, to be fair. And I was sort of umming and ahhing myself about maybe Chelsea could do it, but just Liverpool at home, I thought, and the fact that, like I say, other than that Forest game, they've won every single game. I just thought it's going to be a big game. I think a big scoring game.
There's going
I think
to be a come down for Liverpool at some point in the season. Like Arne Slot is not going to have it this good the entire season.
Yeah,
and I think this might be one of the games where he gets slapped and he has to have a little bit of a sit back and be like, okay, I can't just do whatever I want and coast through games. Like I think this might be one. And I think Maresca's got a hold of this squad. He seems like a lot of people questioning his decisions at the beginning where he was like Sterling get fucked, Chilwell get fucked. There was a couple of other players. But he seems to have got a hold of this squad and he seems to be getting him going. So yeah, I could see an upset.
If we was to throw away quick before we do the final prediction in Monday Night Football, if we was to throw together a quick kind of combined 11 with Liverpool and Chelsea, how many Chelsea players would get in, do you think?
Well, Palmer obviously gets in, doesn't he?
Which I'm gonna have to go through 44 players in it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
But I mean, they have got regulars in like Nicholas Jackson obviously plays the majority of the time.
I don't think he gets in.
Casado, Enzo play for the majority of the time. Cucurella plays a lot.
No, I don't think he
beats
any of them.
Get in over the Liverpool players.
Gusto might be
Over
the
Trent?
closest one, I think.
Gusto's good, but he's obviously not getting in over Trent.
Not over
So
Trent.
surely not.
Defensively, he's better than Trent. So
But
Oh,
on the
Trent's
ball, what
just
he offers you is
better.
unbelievable, isn't it?
he's still pretty good though. Like Gusto's really
Connor
good on the
Bradley
ball.
as well. Connor Bradley's
Yeah.
class, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think the centre backs I don't think any of the centre backs beat Van Dijk and Canate.
And their
Like,
goalkeeper defo doesn't go in either.
Allison, the Chelsea's goalkeeper is the worst player they've got.
Yeah,
like he's terrible. Like Sanchez.
Shite for them.
Yeah,
really bad.
Midfield, I think you can't look past McAllister, Szoboszlai. Like I think those guys.
Gravenberch
has been a revelation.
I think those three, Van Dijk, Canate, Gravenberch, those I think they've been so.
Yeah.
I
think Cole Palmer is the only one.
Cole Palmer is the only one. I think, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so that's bizarre, isn't it, though? Because you think going into this, they're quite evenly matched. I would say in terms of like form.
Yeah.
But the fact that only one player can get in is a bit like interesting.
I just think that Liverpool is set up to be such a well-functioned, oiled machine.
Yeah.
Because Klopp left him in that state, and then Slot just come in, and it's just rolling. It just keeps going, and I think he's got the advantage there. Whereas obviously Maresca's come into this chaos of like 44 players, and he's had to sort through, and he's trying to get stuff going. So I think that's the difference. I think if Chelsea go on a run this season, you might well then start looking at like, oh, Nicholas Jackson's a top striker. Madueke is one of the best wingers in the league, etc. You might start looking at those players.
Yeah.
Do you think? Do you think they're any of them are title contenders?
Liverpool for sure.
Liverpool definitely are, yeah. But Chelsea, yeah, like they say, they seem to be on this upward curve now, don't they? Where it looks like the past 2 years has just been this mad fucking tornado almost, and it's like now seems like they're stabilizing a little bit. It's still obviously quite chaotic, but it seems like they're on the way back. I don't know if maybe this season is a bit too early for them, but you just never know, do you? They could carry on in decent form, and then it comes to the business end of the season, and they could be right up there still. Even if there's 40, like Arsenal, City, Liverpool, and Chelsea, like, wouldn't like blow your mind, would it? To be fair.
It's like we always had, as United fans, we always had Chelsea to look at and laugh. If we was doing shit, we'd always be like, well, Chelsea are below us, and they've got a whole shitstorm. So focus on them in that tornado. They're getting caught up, and don't worry about us. Like, they're the one doing shit. Now they're starting to do well, and Sancho's gone there and done well, and all this kind of stuff. We're then sat there as like 14th in the table, like the biggest team in the league to be at that position. It's like, yeah, not great. So, what score? I really don't know what score. This is the most difficult one to predict, I think, with Liverpool and Chelsea. I'll go Liverpool 2-1. I think I just can't see them losing at Anfield. I think they beat them. And really put a marker down, and then I think Chelsea might have a little bit of a dip after that. That's my prediction. So we'll end it on Monday Night Football. Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace. Palace without a win in the league. Forest been very competitive. But still, if you look at the record, 4 draws involved in it. So they're not flying, but they're getting results. They are at home. Yeah. Does Palace finally get a result, or do they keep staying in this kind of sticky patch? What do we think?
I think it depends what is defined as a result. Like I'm sorry to say again, it's another draw. But and I've gone for. I know. I'm sorry, but it's 1-1 written all over it. And honestly, if you look at Forest and Palace's, like I think they've played each other 4 times in the league since Forest come back up. I think it's 1 win for Forest, which was a 1-0, and then the rest have all been draws, 1-1 draws, 0-0.
Stinks of a 1-1.
So it stinks of a 1-1.
It does.
I feel a bit for Glasner and for Palace because last I've said it last time I was on, but last season when he come in, they looked so good, didn't they? They had an amazing end to the season. Mateta was flying, and then you were looking at him thinking, right, they'll have a pre-season with this manager who looks like a really good manager, good tactics and all that, and it's just not happened for him yet, and now it's like the pressure's on a bit for him now, which is mad just to think when you think the end of last season or beginning of this season either, the morale and the like, they must have been Palace must have been buzzing for the season.
Yep.
And it's gone like this. It must be.
Flash football for you though, like 6 months,
Yeah.
so much can change.
Yeah.
Honestly, like we won the
Yeah.
FA Cup in June, and look where we're 14th in the league at the moment. Like, it's,
Well, there you
you know what
go.
I'm saying. Sam, would you agree with that assessment, or have you gone with something different?
Yeah, it's again it's a weird how it's Monday Night Football because it's going to be 0-0, this, isn't it?
Everyone on Monday night just like that.
It's a struggle, but I think Palace they got destabilized in the summer, didn't they? Obviously, lost the lease to Bayern.
Anderson.
Anderson's gone to Fulham, and then Gahey was subject to the Newcastle thing the entire summer. They didn't know whether he was going to stay or not. Ends up staying. So I think that's not helped them at all. So that preseason that Alex was talking about obviously hasn't gone as smooth as they would like. I think Eze's the pressure's been put on the Beach Eze hasn't to become the man that Alyx has left, and I just don't think he's that guy. And I think he's sort of struggling to hold that mantle up. Mateta's not quite at form. And I just think, it's going to be a struggle for Glasgow this season. Who did they buy in the summer? I can't remember. Did they buy anybody significant in the summer?
No, I think they made like a couple of astute buys.
They've got like 3 defenders, aren't there? Like 3 centre backs, I think. Obviously, like you said, they've lost Anderson, but they've signed that Lacroix from Wolfsburg.
Oh yeah, is he midfielder?
No, centre back.
Centre back.
Oh, and Nketiah, of course, as well.
Is he the guy to sort of step up and score a load of goals? I don't know. I really don't know.
He's a really good finisher. He actually is. And his goals to minutes ratio for Arsenal was decent, really, considering he'd get chucked on for like the last 10 minutes and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see how he does. Definitely giving a run.
Nuno's doing all right. He obviously got the win at Liverpool. He seems a bit better than he was last season. So I think he'll be all right this season. Palace don't have anybody outstanding. Like, nobody stands out where you're like that. But apart from that, what's the fucking South American midfielder that everybody's talking about?
For where? Palace?
No, for Forest.
Oh,
I want to say it begins with an L.
Danilo, is it? No.
Murillo. Murillo, that might be it.
He's a centre back in there, the Brazilian.
I think he can play. I think he can do both, though. I think he can be a defensive midfielder.
Anyway, I'm gonna look at the squad anyway. But and then they look like a unit this season. Remember when they were buying players left, right, and centre, like Jesse Lingard and Navas and all this different thing, and they were trying to piece together this fucking squad. It didn't work really, and they just about survived relegation. They seem like they're a squad this season. It seems like it's settled. It seems like it's ready to go, and I just think they'll do decently this season. Where is it? I'm just looking at the things now.
I think of the like a South American player that have signed. I feel like
he's like Danilo is the midfielder, and then Murillo's the centre back.
I'm just looking now.
Everyone's loving Murillo at the minute, like.
Murillo, it is Murillo. That's the guy.
Yeah.
But he seems to be like a really interesting player. Obviously, you got Morgan Gibbs White as well, who's decently well, and then our boy Antti Elanga. Can he have a similar impact like he did last season? So and 0-0.
Hudson-Odoi seems to be picking his career back up, doesn't he? And even buddy Chris Wood seems to he's scoring a few goals. Chris Wood,
no matter where he goes, he scores. I know people deride him and say, "Oh shit," but he picks goals up everywhere he goes. So it's like
he would have been in the Barclays era or something. Chris Wood, he'd have
been perfect. Barclays, man.
So
Duncan Ferguson type sort of like that kind of, you know what I mean? Where like cult hero, but not quite like
Chris Wood. Let us know what you make of our predictions. Challenge us in the comments and let us know which game you're most excited for. Include your banana skins and your barn burners. We're going to finish on this, Alex. Tommy Tuchel, you got your German shirt on. Is that? I don't know if that was in anticipation for me talking about Tuchel, but what are your thoughts on this? Because I'm very interested to hear what you say.
Yeah, no, I put it on this morning, and then I was like, oh, well, we are actually doing this show. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'll keep it on, kind of thing. But What can you say? It's a good. Surely, it's a good appointment. Really, he's in terms of available managers. He's the best in the world available right now. Like,
Can I
and
ask
it
you,
should be.
just because for a certain point, sorry, I know you're going to get the finger. The main debate about this is the fact that an English manager should manage an English team. What do you make of that? 'Cause I think it's fucking utter nonsense.
I think it is. I don't know if I want to take it too deep, but I think it's like to be honest, it's the sign of where the world has kind of gone now, or certainly where this country has gone now, where the sort of right wing opinion is now very much amplified because there's a lot more. Like you've got all your GB news and then the biggest papers are Daily Mail and the Sun, both right wing. So it's just the rise of that, I think, because we've had Sven, like that was over 20 years ago. We had
Yeah.
Sven,
Yeah.
and then we had Capello, and there was none of this. Like there might have been a bit, obviously it's a bit before our time. I don't know if maybe Sam you'd remember, but
Yeah, I
even you
remember.
would still been a kid. But like, there was a bit of like, oh, we can't do that. This is a bit mad when Sven was getting appointed, but then a few months in, we beat Germany 5-1, and then who gives a shit where the manager's from, and you know what I mean? Like Sven wasn't there. His downfall, and then I don't even think Capello's even was to do with the fact that they weren't English. Like so, it just to me, it's a sad sign of where the world's gone that this is now even a debate point, like even a point of discussion. Like the only thing that is worth debating, I think, is just generally the quality of the English coaching pathway and all
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
like, there's obviously some decent stuff going on at at St George's, sorry, and like Lee Carsley. Like, okay, he's not got it now, but it seemed like we were going to sort of go down that route, didn't we? Like how like Spain have done.
Mm.
Like their manager, I think the only like first team experience I think he'd had was like 6 months at like Alaves or someone.
Similar to
Like,
the Southgate kind of pathway, wasn't it, with De La
well,
Fuente?
yeah,
I think.
exactly, yeah. So yeah, we're seeing now like it's all about the whole concept of international football is our best against their best and all that kind of thing. But we've had we're
If they
not just us, but go on.
No, I was just saying, if they would have carried that through, and I'll bring you in a moment as well, Sam. If they would have carried that through, though, because a guy said this to me, he's like, well, all of our players have to be English. So the manager should be English. I was like, all right, well, you
And
watch
not
any...
though.
I know...
Our players are not. Our players are not English though.
No, like not like if they're gonna go down that route, like do you know what I'm saying? Like I get that, but I'm saying well, we watch an English league, and the reason why it's so big and so popular is because of foreign players and foreign managers: Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, Erling Haaland, De Bruyne, all foreign players, all foreign managers. If you just put English players in the Prem, it wouldn't be nowhere near what it is today.
No,
So football is a global sport. But Sam, I want to,
exactly.
we'll go back to you in a second, Alex. But Sam, I think Alex made a great point about the kind of the right wing situation. It does feel a little bit like that, doesn't it? You know, I can't sing 10 German bombers anymore. All that kind of fucking shit.
I think it's a different generation, isn't it? Like I'm older than you two lads, but I think we're classed as millennials together. I think we're in the same generation. And I think there's an older generation who still hold on to these things that their dad or something taught them about Germany and how Germans are the enemy and all this sort of bollocks. And then, oh, the brown person, yeah, he's the enemy. You got to watch him. And all this bullshit that we don't hold on to. Like, we don't give a shit about. Like, we just see, oh, are you a cunt or are you not? Like, if you're a good person, we don't care. And I think that's the remnants. That generation is dying off slowly but surely. It's dying off, but there's still remnants of it today. And the people who are running it, like Alex said, are the people in charge of the media. Rupert Murdoch owns, I think, about 7 or 8 different papers. Old, white, rich billionaire who's right-winged as fuck. And he owns most of the media in this country. And that's what you're going to see. He owns most of the media in America as well, which is why you see Fox News and all that bollocks as well. So I think you've just sort of got to tune it out. And I think the the panelists themselves, like I saw that thing you brought up, Nick, where Neville and Carragher were like, well, why wasn't Eddie Howe, who was the other one?
Lampard,
Potter, and then Lampard. Why no offense, Alex, I know he was your manager.
No, but that's crazy.
Lampard's not on that level. Like, I don't give a
Lampard.
shit what you're talking about. Like, maybe there's an argument for Eddie Howe or Graham Potter.
Yeah.
You cannot put Lampard in that conversation. And that just shows you how weak the argument is that they're fucking throwing Lampard in there. I'd rather you throw Sean Dyche in there. He's a better manager than Frank Lampard is. Like, put Sean Dyche in there. He's an English manager. Correct. Like, why are you putting Frank Lampard there?
I'd do that for a year.
Name.
Give me 12 months of Sean Dyche to England, mate. I'll fucking.
You know what I mean?
But
like Frank Lampard's ability as a manager is not as good as Sean Dyche's ability as a manager, and he's English. But because he was a big name player, they chuck his name in like it means something. It's like he's not a good manager, and I just think it's outdated and it's wrong. And again, to touch on the player thing, half of these players that are playing for England have chosen to play for England when they could play for other countries. Declan Rice and Jack Grealish pulled on under-19 Ireland shirts. There's pictures of
Rice
them. They played for under-19 in Ireland.
He got free.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. So, like, these guys, if you want to go down that, no, they have to be English. All right, get rid of Declan Rice. Get rid of Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of players who've got, like, Afro-Caribbean and African descent as well, like Matt Gahey and people like that. All right, get rid of them as well then. Get rid of Rashford. Get rid of, like, all your sort of black players. And then who you left with? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you wanted to be this strict thing of like, oh, it has to be pure English, you have to like, family born here, but it's bollocks. It's all bollocks. It falls apart completely when you start picking holes in it. So I don't agree with it at all. And when you look at the available managers, and again, no offense to Eddie Howe and all that sort of stuff, all the available managers that you could possibly get, because let's face it, Pep wasn't attainable, was he? He just wasn't.
No,
We're certainly trying.
Thomas Tuchel is the best option, bar none. There's nobody who comes close.
No.
I wanted him at United. I desperately wanted him at United because I think the impact he could have had on our team now, similar, ironically, to what happened at Chelsea when Lampard went and Tuchel took over and made him instantly better. Ultimately, Alex, if fucking England win a World Cup, there's not going to be one person who's moaning about that decision, is there?
Exactly. But now I am seeing stuff like that where it's like, well, it wouldn't feel the same. It would be tainted and all that. And I'm like, get a grip, man. Get a grip. It's ridiculous.
The what's the greatest fairy tale? I said this to a couple of lads on the show earlier. The greatest fairy tale in international football, in your opinion, what is it?
Greece, and they had a German manager, didn't they?
They had a German manager, exactly. Yeah. If they don't have that manager, that story might not ever happen.
Yeah.
The other argument is as well, like, oh, top nations don't have it because it's like, oh, Germany have never had one and stuff like that. Portugal, I would argue, are a top footballing nation. Where's Roberto Martinez from?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it don't fucking matter. Fucking Brazil want Ancelotti as their manager.
Yeah.
He's not Brazilian. He's not even Spanish. He's fucking Italian. Like. It's just
Gus Hiddink took South Korea to 4th in the World Cup, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah, he did.
2002. There we have it. Look, I'm sure we could sit here and discuss this for another hour easily, and some of the idiotic comments. But this has been the Premier League predictions, slightly tangents off. But thank you very much for watching. Please do smash the like on the video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. I can't wait to finally watch some fucking football again.
Yeah. Oh no!
Weekend, man. It has been so dry and so shit and so filled with shitty lies and news about United that my brain can't possibly tolerate anymore. So I'm just happy to watch some football. Yeah.
You say that now, and then you turn United on, and then you be like, I want the international break.
But if, there's still a lot of games to watch, so United aren't the only. I will obviously, my pure focus will be on United, but yeah. So anyway, thank you for coming on, lads. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in. If you're watching this live or watch this later on, and we'll see you next week, Friday night.